Chelsea's second half turnaround, just their second win in 8 Premier League games and into the top 4 with 15 games to play. And given what Enzo Maresca walked into, Joe, at this stage of the season, would you have expected Chelsea to be in the top 4?
At the start of the season, I thought it was a real mess because you had 30 players and there was a lot of lads who needed to get out the door. There was a lot of uncertainty. Then Chelsea kept adding to the list. So I thought Enzo's going to be so difficult for him. Then we interviewed him early on in his reign, and he was so calm about the process. He said, "Look, I'm going to pick my players." He said, "who I think can do what I need them to do, and the ones that can't, they can leave." And he said it in such a way, so stern and so like he believed it. I thought, I like you. And then I think he's managed the group brilliantly. There's some players who've gone out the door now this week where they've moved on. And I think he's just put like a bit of a steel into the side. I think there's still bumps in the road. Like it was 4 or 5 weeks ago, I thought Chelsea were in a title race because I'd been watching them consistently and improvement. Then they had a 3-4 week spell where they didn't win a game. And in this league, you can't do that. You've got to be on it. So I'm impressed with him when I consider you have to take yourself back to what it was like in August. It looked incredibly mad, and he just settled the ship. Players have gone out the building again in January. The squad's gone shorter and smaller, but I think stronger. So I think top 4 is well within their grasp. I think it's something they should do with the amount of money they've spent. So I think he's doing a very, very good job, and I think Champions League would be par for the course for this club this year.
Shouldn't we forget as well that it's his first season managing in the Premier League, while sorting all this out and trying to get Chelsea into the top 4.
Yeah, I've been really impressed. I think he's done an incredible job. That was a real mess. Lots of good managers have come and gone. Lots of them couldn't sort out the mess, but as Joe said, very stern, a strict idea really of what he wants to do. And I think when you've got all of those players, the hardest thing that you can do is try to keep everybody happy. You've just got to say, right, these are going to be my 18 or whatever the number is. These might play in Europe, and these are ones I don't fancy at all. And it's hard on some, but that's what it needed. Chelsea just accumulated too many players. It was too difficult a job to manage the club, let alone be a player there. And I think he's done a really good job. Now, you can't expect to have that much of a mess and then to be a title challenger this year. I think if he gets top 4, that's a really, really solid start. And then they can build.
And I think also, he's not got complete control of what he would like, because I think, judging by how he manages players, I think he'd like a bit of experience in that team. I think most managers, if you said, right, we're building the team that we want to achieve our goals, I think every football person would say, I need a bit of experience in my squad to help me out.
I think it's the second youngest team in the Premier League in terms of starters.
It is, and I think that's a club policy. They've gone down this road of...
Haven't started a player 30 or older this season in the outfield.
Again, and I understand from a club policy, when you're thinking of it from a business perspective, you think you buy the best young players in the world from 18 to 22, you play them games, you develop them, they're going to get better. And whether they play for Chelsea and are there to become that player that takes you to the next level, or you sell them on, you're going to make money. But what I think they're missing the trick, and I think Enzo, if you asked him and he was honest, I think he'd say, I would like to have, maybe a slightly younger Thiago Silva, a Jordan Henderson or someone or a few players of that like who've been there, done it, who can lead the group. Because them sort of players, when we was young players, them sort of players are the ones that show you the way. You learn just as much from them than you do from the coaching staff by playing with them and seeing how they conduct themselves. So I think he would if he could.
But on the flip side, he has got a young team, and you think to yourself, right, if someone said to me now, who's in 3 years' time, who could be, right up there challenging for the league, I'd be saying, Chelsea. They're such a young side. That team, if he keeps them together and grows as a team, while all the other teams, you look at the likes of Liverpool and, their key players, the Mo Salahs, the Virgil van Dijks, theirs is the here and now. They're not going to be around in 4 or 5 years, let's say, maybe. So Chelsea are going to be building that team with a real young basis of the squad. It could be very exciting for the years ahead. I agree with Joe in that, for the here and now, a couple of experienced players would be brilliant. But looking at the future, wow, it'd be exciting to be a Chelsea fan.
It's a culture change for the fans, Mo, because the fans for the last 20 years under the Abramovich era it was always about the here and now. It was always about, the manager would go if he wasn't first, second, or even third. You're gone. So the fans have been used to, right, we're going to go and try and buy the best number 9 in the world, the best holding midfielder. And now the fans are just trying to adjust to this, right? We've fallen away from it. Might take us a few years. And only time will tell whether it's the right thing. But these players were going in the right direction, for sure.
Let's have a look at how they turned around the second half then. West Ham upset about a challenge on Jared Bowen leading up to the equalising goal.
It's a definite foul, in my opinion. Watch this now. I mean, he just gets totally taken out. Totally taken out. There's no other way, you know.
He wasn't even cute about it, in the sense that you could sort of pretend to step across him and go, oh, sorry, referee, but he just done it, and the ref made a bad decision. I think the ref's thinking now, please don't score, because, you know, there's going to be a little bit of controversy. The ball comes in from Neto, second phase of play. It's a great finish by Pedro there, but, yeah, it was. I agree with Mo. If you look at here, he's thinking, I'm stopping the press, get off.
I'm not going anywhere near the ball.
And referee's in a good position, isn't he?
Good position.
Absolutely, yeah.
Good. It's a bad decision. Look, you know, in the back, push, momentum.
I mean, if the challenge in isolation isn't the worst challenge in the world, you could say, oh, it's a little bit soft. But it's what he's trying to do. He's gone nowhere near the ball. He's actually spotted Bowen thinking, right, this could be an opportunity to take him out. And he's changed the angle of his run, and he's gone and taken him out. It's a definite foul. Now, of course, here we're looking at offside. Is there a little flick by a Chelsea player? It's hard to say yes, definitely. So benefit of the doubt with the strike. I've got no problem with that. I've got no problem with VAR not coming back to the foul.
Yeah, let's clear that up.
It's
in the next attacking phase of play, what they call the APP, and we understand that 7 different Chelsea players have touched the ball since that foul. So you're happy that we can't be going all the way back to instances like that?
I am. I still think it's the same phase. No one will convince me it's a different phase, because they never came out and recycled the ball around the back. They never lost the ball and regained
I'm just a messenger. I'm not going to...
No, absolutely. I still think it's the same phase.
Okay.
However, I'm still happy that they... Because, you know, there was too many passes, as you say, and I'm fine with that. I just think it's a bad decision on the there and then. End of story. Nothing to do with VAR.
Yeah, I agree.
You don't want to be going all the way back there, do you?
No, absolutely not. I agree with what Mo said. It's a bad decision by the referee, but you can't go. You could probably go back from every goal that's scored. Oh, that could have been a foul, and then it gets messy. And we see enough of VAR, don't we, stopping the game? So, yeah.
That's your view. Here is the West Ham United captain involved in it, Jared Bowen.
Got to ask you about their equalising goal. In commentary, there was a feeling that you may have been fouled in the build-up. VAR took the view it was too far back. Yeah. I take it you may have a different view.
No, listen, obviously we trust the VAR, and the technology is there for a reason. Obviously it was a long way away, but you know, at the time it was kind of, I was trying to avoid Levi, and I think he was trying to run towards me, but you know, we didn't get the decision, and we had to react better than what we did. You know, it was, the goal got given, you know, we thought it might have been offside, but obviously nothing got given, so it was 1-1. Then it was down to us to stay in the game better than what we did, and you know, in the end we conceded a second goal, and we had obviously a deflection, but you know, they were probing, and this is what this team's about. They're really, you know, the crowd are really good here when they get behind them, and you know, it gave them a real lift. And you know, I think we just had to do a little bit more after the first goal to stay in the game. But then, like I said, we had our chances at the end of the game where on another day Mo's shot doesn't get blocked, or it takes a deflection like their goal and goes in. Like little things like that just went against us today. But you know, I think we've got 12 days now until the next game. So it's time to, you know, rest, recover, watch the game back, look what we've done well, look what we didn't do so well, and go to Brentford where we play at home, which is a real big game for us.
That's the West Ham point of view. We can go back to Stamford Bridge and speak live to one of the Chelsea goal scorers, Neto, now. Neto, thanks for joining us. Well done. That was some impact from you personally tonight.
Hi, how are you guys? Everything good? Thank you very much. Thank you.
I guess when you come off the bench, you want to affect the game, and you certainly did that.
Yeah, like you say, I was in the bench. I'm here to help the team. I think it was a really important win for us after 7 games, and we had only 1 win. It was the time to bounce back, and coming 1-0 from the result from behind, it was really important for us this game to show the confidence that we have on each other.
Let's have a look at your goal then. I mean, your first Premier League goal for Chelsea was a big one to equalise against Arsenal, as was this. to send you on to victory. Here it comes, Neto. Nice and calm.
Yeah, very nice. Pedro, very nice finish. I thought you was excellent when you come on today. What did Enzo say at half-time? Did he just want the team to be a little bit more clinical, a little bit more forward-thinking? What was the message at half-time?
The message at half-time was like, imagine we were having our plan. I think the things were going well in the first half, maybe a little bit out of the intensity that we wanted. And then their goal came for our error. But in the second half, he has to continue with the plan, because sometimes with the excitement that we have and the experience that we have to need a little bit more, we had to come to the second half and have the same plan, to continue to be calm on the ball, to continue to make passes, because we know that the teams, when they come here, they like to sit back. And West Ham coming one goal up, we knew that it would be a difficult job to break their wall. So we had to keep our plan and to play our game. That's what we did, and we scored 2 goals on the second half, and it was really important for us.
Pedro, the manager tends to make changes, Joe was referring to, maybe a little bit later in the game sometimes, but today he made the changes quite early. Of course, that helped you make a difference in this game.
Yeah, like you said, it's like coming early on. It was much easier to make the impact. I think the boss makes the changes when he thinks is best. So I think the changes that came in today it was really important. Even Trevor, when he came on, only 5 minutes, it showed the hard work that he has to do. Like I said, even if I play 10, 15 minutes, 25, 45, we are here to help the team, and this is the only way that we can take Chelsea to another level.
You talk that finally about another level. I mean, you're back in the top 4, back to winning ways. I mean, at this stage of the season, you've got to be happy with that progress, haven't you?
Yeah, we have to be happy, but we have to continue to want more. If we are happy with the work that we are doing, it will come one time that we feel comfortable. So we have to want more every time. We have to come to every game to win it. We have to come to every game to be more consistent, to learn with the situation that we had from the past games. And the important thing is to improve every day, and to be like, how do I say, to have the mentality to want more and more and more.
Very well done tonight. Great turnaround. Thanks very much for joining us.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Well done, Pedro Neto, there with the equaliser. Let's have a look at the winner. A bit of fortune, but you felt Chelsea deserved that on the night.
Chelsea deserved it on the night. On the run of play, they were the team pro. And you'd expect that at home, with the quality that Chelsea got. West Ham done well, but I think at this stage of the game, being able to bring on players like Pedro Neto, £50 million, fresh against the young Ollie Scarves, who I thought done well. He gets the cross in, recycles back to Cole Palmer. You need to get tighter to Cole Palmer now. See, if that's a problem with the legs, because Chelsea were moving the ball. West Ham just couldn't get near him, and he stood up. I think it's too foul on this occasion. Look, Cole Palmer, 2 touch, 3 touch, 4 touch before anyone gets out to him. You can't leave a player that dangerous, and he strikes it lovely, and he gets a bit of luck.
Yeah, I mean, I've got no doubts he was striking it hard, low, but across the goal. He was trying to cross it here. And the ball was going into the 6-yard box. It definitely wasn't going in. Of course, Wan-Bissaka was given the own goal and probably the right decision. But, he does make things happen, doesn't he, Cole Palmer? Going direct, and he's just such a joy of a player to watch. His free kick was unbelievable. He had a couple of chances. He'd be disappointed that he didn't get on the score sheet, but of course, he did make a big difference.
He certainly did. But at half-time, Graham Potter was halfway to becoming the first former Chelsea manager to win back at Stamford Bridge. He ends with defeat, and here he is, the new West Ham manager.
Graham, when you were speaking to our studio before the game, you emphasised the importance that you wanted performance and results. Tonight you didn't get the result, but were you happy with the performance that your team gave?
Lots of aspects of it, yeah. And the spirit of the team was fantastic. Gave everything to the players. I thought it was relatively even in terms of chances in the game, but could have nicked something at the end with Mo. But in the end, we come away with nothing in terms of result, but performance, lots of things to be positive about.
How important was the start tonight? You seemed to come here, you silenced the crowd, you get the first goal. Was that very much in your game plan tonight, to keep this place quiet, to give you a chance?
Yeah, well, I think it was. And you look at the second half, they had to make some substitutions. The first goal was a bit of a turning point for us. We maybe thought it was a foul on Jared leading up to it, and sometimes you need those things to go your way. It wasn't to be. I think we'd have held on a little bit more, sensed the crowd getting a bit frustrated, and obviously Chelsea weren't overly happy with what they were doing because they made all the substitutions. So we were doing well, but we couldn't quite hang on, and like I said, we had a real big chance at the end to take a point.
Is it fair to say both goals you conceded had a touch of misfortune about them from your perspective?
Yeah, they're deflected. Certainly the second one's a deflection, but obviously, we know that he's got that quality as well. So, no, we have to focus on what we did well. We have to focus on, like I said, the spirit of the performance. You could see the reaction of our supporters after the game. They appreciated the effort. They appreciated the togetherness of the team, and that's something we have to keep going with.
You also spoke before the game with the lads about the importance of the time you'd had on the training field, and they mentioned in commentary tonight there seemed to be more rigid West Ham, more defensive, more tighter, everybody knowing their jobs. Did you sense that was coming through as well?
Well, I think you've got to be here as well, because there's a lot of talent on the pitch. Like I said, not just the starting 11, but the substitutes as well. They can bring on a lot of talented players. But I thought the shape of the team was really, really good. The effort of the team was really good. The application of everything was really good. Like I said, you need a bit of luck. Like I said, we felt a little bit unfortunate with the first goal lead up to, but it wasn't to be. We have to accept the defeat and take the positives of the performance.
Yeah, 4 points from 12 in his 4 league games in charge of West Ham. Is there a number of positives to take that he's talking about there?
Definitely. I think you need to look at West Ham through the lens of what was happening under Lopetegui during his reign, because I think there's a little bit more organisation, there's a little bit more structure. I see he's brought young players like Skulls come through, Orford's played. Players have come out from the cold. I feel like it's more settled, and I think with the signing of Evan Ferguson between now and the end of the season, because that's what they've missed. It hasn't worked with Fulkrug. Antonio's, unfortunately, he's had his accident, and we wish him all the very best, but I don't think we'll be seeing him. Well, I'm sure we won't be seeing him this year. So I think having that pivot, that number 9, that focus point of the attack with Bowen and Kudus either side, that's enough to get West Ham comfortably into mid-table. But it's going to be about him putting stability down for next season, and I think he will. I think it's the right club for him at the right time. I think the jump from Brighton to Chelsea was too much for him. It needed time. That I think Brighton to West Ham. He's had a look at what the expectations are like at Chelsea, and the expectations are high at West Ham as well. But he'll have more ability to go out and buy quality players, attract them to West Ham, and the expectations are not quite as much. So I think he'll have time to embed his principles, and hopefully West Ham fans can enjoy a team that plays like his Brighton team played, because you have to remember that was one of the most exciting teams to watch. They had ability all over the pitch, they scored goals. So that's what I'm hoping for West Ham.
OK, let's get a quick reaction then from the winning manager. Back to winning ways. Here he is, Enzo Maresca.
Enzo, congratulations. What would you say the key was to turning that game around from 1-0 down?
Today was a tough game, especially mentally, because when the team come here and they sit back with line of 5-4-1, 10 players, 11 players behind the ball, and it's not easy. So you need to be mentally strong, you need to be patient, and then they scored probably without shooting on goal. We had, I think, first half more than 10 shots, and so it's been mentally strong, but second half, with some change also, I think the game completely changed.
Yeah, the game did completely change. Was that down to something you did tactically, or was it the substitutions that changed it?
No, we both. First of all, the players that are the most important thing, and then we adjust also something tactically. But I think even in the first half, I think we had 4 or 5 clear chances. Unfortunately, we missed the target, but overall, I think we completely deserved to win the game.
Yeah, that's a plus, isn't it, with his young squad and the timing of the West Ham goal just before half-time as well?
Yeah, it was big for him, and it must be lovely as well just to be able to turn around and look at your bench and see people like Neto and they're just waiting to come on. I mean, what a player he is. He must be scratching his head why he's not in the starting lineup as well. Certainly after today's performance, he'll be expected to next time. But no, it's a good job. It's a good result. tonight, and onwards and upwards for Chelsea. I do feel as if they're good enough to sustain this and to finish in the top 4 this season.
Yeah, do you think they can go on another consistent run like we saw before?
Yeah, I do. I think there's enough quality. I think having Reece James back, I think, is massive. I tell you, for losing Fofana again, for we don't know the period of time, that was massive for Chelsea. Because when they started looking like people saying, well, maybe he was in the team, he was starting to play well. I think he really helped Levi Colwill next to him. Although he's only slightly older than Levi, he's very, very mature as a player. So they was becoming good, and Chelsea had a solid foundation. That's been moved a little bit. So we brought Chalobah back into play, and he's played well. He didn't play tonight, but I think ultimately they can. I would say that top 4 is probably a must for the club with the amount of money spent, because you have to look at it that way as well. It would be disastrous if they don't get top 4.
OK, gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for your company. Great to see you, Joe. The Joe Cole derby goes Chelsea's way after just 1 win in 7. They've won again, and they end the weekend in the top 4.